The wind howls across the endless white plain, carving snow into drifts that rise and fall like frozen waves. Temperature, minus 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, where the Arctic air can strip heat from bones in minutes, a lone figure moves with purpose through the gathering dusk. His caribou parka ripples in the savage gusts, but the Inuit hunter shows no hesitation. The sun bleeds away at the horizon, casting his shadow long across the tundra. In 90 minutes, darkness will claim this landscape completely, and if he doesn't find shelter, the cold will claim him. Before we continue, if you enjoy powerful stories of survival, tradition, and raw nature, make sure to click that subscribe button. It's the best way to support our work. Thank you, and let's continue. The hunter pauses, removes his mitten briefly, and digs bare fingers into the snow. He's searching for something specific, not just snow, but snow of a particular density, a particular age. His weathered face, etched with lines from decades of Arctic winds, shows intense concentration. This is knowledge passed down through countless generations, for father to son, elder to youth, since time immemorial. Finding the right snow can mean the difference between life and death. He strikes the surface with his snow knife, a curved blade of polished bone his grandfather crafted 50 years ago. The sound rings clear, almost musical. Satisfied, he begins cutting blocks from the compacted snow, working with practiced precision. Each block emerges clean and geometric, roughly the size of a large brick. Steam rises from his exposed face, the only visible sign of his exertion. As twilight deepens, the hunter assembles these blocks into a low wall, spiraling upward like a snail's shell. This is the beginning of an igloo, but not the kind most people imagine. The structure will house something remarkable, an ice bed that can maintain warmth even in the most brutal Arctic conditions. The engineering behind this ancient technology rivals anything modern science has produced. The dome rises steadily. The hunter works without blueprints, guided by muscle memory and ancient wisdom. Each block interlocks with its neighbors, creating a self-supporting arch that can withstand hurricane-force winds. As he places the final keystone block at the top, the structure settles with a soft crunch, its weight distributing evenly across the foundation. Now comes the crucial part, the creation of the sleeping platform. The hunter enters through a low tunnel he's dug, designed to trap cold air below, while allowing warmer air to rise inside the dome. Using his snow knife, he begins shaping a raised platform along one wall. This isn't random work. He's following precise measurements learned through generations of trial and error. The platform must be exactly the right height, above the cold air that settles at floor level, but not so high that it interferes with the dome's thermal dynamics. Outside, the temperature continues to plummet. Stars emerge in the darkening sky, their light crystalline and sharp in the dry Arctic air. Inside the igloo, the hunter lights a small kullik, a traditional stone lamp fueled by seal oil. The flame flickers, casting dancing shadows on the snow walls. This single flame will soon transform the interior environment in ways that defy intuition. The hunter spreads a layer of caribou hide across the snow platform. This isn't just for comfort. The hide creates an essential barrier that prevents body heat from melting the snow beneath. Over this, he lays a thick mattress of dried grass and moss, collected during the brief summer months and stored for winter use. These materials trap air, creating natural insulation that modern sleeping bags struggle to match. Then comes the most counterintuitive step of all. The hunter takes his water container. Made from sealskin, it hasn't frozen despite the extreme cold, and carefully pours water across the surface of the snow platform. In seconds, the water freezes, creating a thin but crucial layer of ice. This ice shell will prevent the snow from absorbing moisture from his body and clothing during the night. The physics at work here are remarkable. Snow is actually an excellent insulator because it traps air in countless tiny pockets. The ice layer seals these pockets while preventing direct contact between the sleeper and the snow. Combined with the caribou hide and vegetation, this creates a sleeping surface that can maintain temperatures of 50 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, even when it's minus 82 outside. The hunter spreads his sleeping furs across the completed platform. These aren't ordinary furs. They're specially selected and prepared caribou pelts with the hair facing inward, creating a microclimate around the sleeper. The hollow structure of caribou hair provides exceptional insulation, far superior to synthetic materials. As the colic continues to burn, something extraordinary happens inside the igloo. The heat from the lamp rises, warming the air at the dome's apex. This warm air gradually permeates the snow walls, causing the inner surface to melt slightly. But instead of weakening the structure, this process creates a thin ice shell on the interior surface. This glazing effect makes the igloo stronger and more wind-resistant while improving its thermal efficiency. The hunter carefully adjusts a small vent hole at the top of the dome. This ventilation is critical. Without it, carbon dioxide from breathing could accumulate to dangerous levels. But the vent must be precisely sized. Too large and precious heat escapes. Too small and the air becomes stale and potentially lethal. This balance represents another example of indigenous engineering refined over millennia. Outside, the Arctic night has fully descended. The aurora borealis begins its ethereal dance across the sky, casting green and purple light across the snow. The wind continues its relentless assault, but inside the igloo, conditions are remarkably different. The temperature hovers around freezing, roughly 80 degrees warmer than outside. The hunter removes his outer parka, revealing lighter clothing underneath. This is another crucial survival technique. Sweating in Arctic conditions can be deadly, as moisture destroys the insulating properties of clothing. By removing layers in the relative warmth of the igloo, he ensures his garments remain dry for tomorrow's journey. He positions himself on the ice bed, arranging the furs around his body. The platform's elevation keeps him above the coldest air, while the dome's curved shape ensures warm air circulates efficiently. His breath creates small clouds that dissipate quickly, prevented from forming frost by the igloo's carefully maintained humidity level. The traditional knowledge embedded in the structure is staggering. Every aspect, from the spiral construction method to the precise angle of the walls, represents solutions to complex engineering problems. The dome shape isn't just aesthetic. It's the optimal form for wind resistance and heat retention. The entrance tunnel isn't merely a doorway. It's a cold trap that exploits differences in air density. As the hunter settles in for the night, his body heat begins interacting with the carefully designed system around him. The ice layer beneath prevents heat loss through conduction. The caribou hide and vegetation layers trap warm air next to his body. The furs above create a microclimate that maintains comfort even as outside temperatures plunge further. This sleeping platform represents more than survival technology. It embodies a profound understanding of thermodynamics developed without formal scientific training. Inuit builders discovered principles of heat transfer, air circulation, and material science through careful observation and experimentation across generations. The colic burns steadily, its flame requiring minimal fuel thanks to the igloo's efficient design. The hunter adjusts his position slightly, demonstrating how the platform size accounts for natural movement during sleep. Too small, and the sleeper risks rolling onto the cold floor. Too large, and heat dissipates inefficiently. Throughout the night, the ice bed performs its remarkable function. While conventional logic might suggest that sleeping on ice would be dangerously cold, the multilayered system actually creates one of the most effective cold-weather sleeping arrangements ever devised. The ice surface remains stable, preventing the gradual compression that would occur with snow alone. As hours pass, the outside temperature reaches its nadir, at -82 degrees Fahrenheit. Exposed flesh freezes in seconds. Metal becomes dangerously brittle. Even breathing requires special techniques to prevent lung damage. Yet inside the igloo, on his ice bed, the hunter sleeps comfortably, his body temperature regulated by ancient technology that modern science has only recently begun to fully appreciate. The igloo itself continues its thermal dance throughout the night. The slight melting and refreezing of the inner surface creates an increasingly efficient barrier. The dome shape ensures that any moisture from breathing or the colic flame condenses high on the walls, away from the sleeping area. This prevents the formation of frost that could fall on the sleeper. Dawn approaches slowly at this latitude. The first hints of light appear as subtle changes in the quality of darkness rather than true illumination. Inside the igloo, The hunter stirs, his internal clock attuned to these minimal cues. He emerges from his fur cocoon gradually, allowing his body to adjust to the slight temperature differential between his sleeping microclimate and the igloo's interior. The ice bed has performed flawlessly through the night. Despite the extreme cold, the hunter's body heat never penetrated deeply enough to compromise the platform's structure. The ice layer remains intact, the insulating layers dry and effective. This durability is crucial. In emergency situations, such shelters might need to last days or even weeks. As the hunter prepares to continue his journey, he follows specific protocols for leaving the igloo. Clothing must be put on in stages to prevent sweating. Equipment must be checked carefully. At these temperatures, any malfunction could prove fatal. The colic is extinguished with a prayer of thanks, acknowledging the gift of warmth it provided through the night. Before departing, the hunter performs maintenance on the shelter. Small cracks are sealed with loose snow. The ventilation hole is cleared of any frost buildup. The entrance tunnel is swept clean. These actions ensure the igloo remains viable for future use, either by himself on a return journey or by other travelers who might need emergency shelter. The sun finally crests the horizon, casting long shadows across the pristine snow. The igloo stands as a testament to human ingenuity, its white dome barely distinguishable from the surrounding landscape. From the outside, it appears simple, almost primitive, but within its walls lies sophisticated engineering that has enabled human survival in Earth's harshest environment for thousands of years. The construction of an ice bed represents more than technical skill. It embodies a worldview that sees the environment not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a teacher to be understood. Every element of the design reflects deep observation of natural phenomena. The use of snow's insulating properties, the exploitation of air density differences, the careful management of moisture and heat, all demonstrate an intimate knowledge of Arctic physics. Modern scientists studying traditional Inuit construction methods have been astonished by their efficiency. Computer models confirm what indigenous knowledge has long understood. The igloo's dome shape is mathematically optimal for heat retention and structural integrity. The spiral construction method distributes forces evenly, creating remarkable stability with minimal material. The ice bed itself challenges Western assumptions about comfort and survivability. By working with natural processes rather than against them, Inuit builders created sleeping platforms that outperform many modern cold weather solutions. The key insight that a thin layer of ice could actually increase warmth by stabilizing the insulating properties of snow represents the kind of counterintuitive wisdom that comes only from deep environmental connection. As our hunter continues his journey across the tundra, the abandoned igloo begins its own transformation. Wind-driven snow will gradually fill the entrance tunnel. The dome may stand for weeks or months, slowly settling and eventually returning to the landscape. But the knowledge that dealt it lives on, passed from generation to generation through demonstration and practice rather than written instruction. This transmission of knowledge faces challenges in the modern era. Climate change alters the very snow conditions that traditional construction methods rely upon. Younger generations, drawn to settled communities, may have fewer opportunities to learn these skills. Get the principles embedded in ice bed construction, observation, adaptation, efficiency, remain relevant for addressing contemporary environmental challenges. The story of the ice bed also challenges narratives about technological progress. Here is a solution to extreme cold that requires no fossil fuels, produces no waste, and uses only locally available materials. Its effectiveness comes not from industrial processes, but from profound understanding of natural systems. In an age of climate crisis, such examples of sustainable technology gain new significance. Scientists studying hypothermia and cold weather survival increasingly look to traditional practices for insights. The multi-layered approach of the ice bed, combining different materials with distinct thermal properties, mirrors principles used in advanced aerospace insulation. The careful management of moisture, critical in Arctic survival, applies equally to spacesuit design. The hunter's methods also demonstrate sophisticated risk management. Every step in constructing the ice bed includes fail-safes and redundancies. If one insulating layer becomes compromised, others compensate. The elevated platform protects against multiple threats, not just cold air, but potential flooding if snow melts unexpectedly. This systems thinking approach resembles modern engineering practices, developed independently through generations of trial and refinement. Perhaps most remarkably, the entire structure can be built in 90 minutes with simple tools. This time efficiency is crucial in Arctic conditions where delays can prove fatal. Compare this to modern emergency shelters that often require complex assembly or multiple specialized components. The igloo and ice bed represent elegant solutions born from necessity, refined to essential simplicity. The cultural dimensions of this technology run deep. Building an igloo is often a communal activity, with knowledge shared through collaborative work. Children learn by watching and participating, absorbing not just technical skills but cultural values of resourcefulness, respect for the environment, and community support. The ice bed becomes a symbol of survival through wisdom rather than force. Traditional stories and songs often reference igloo construction, embedding technical knowledge within cultural narrative. These stories serve as mnemonic devices, helping preserve crucial details across generations. They also reinforce the spiritual dimensions of Arctic survival, where success depends on maintaining proper relationships with the land, animals, and weather spirits. The hunter we followed represents a living bridge between ancient knowledge and modern challenges. His skills, honed through practice and inherited wisdom, embody thousands of years of human adaptation to extreme environments. As he disappears into the white expanse, his footprints soon erased by wind, the igloo remains, a temporary monument to permanent wisdom. In research stations across the Arctic, scientists now study traditional construction methods with new respect. They've discovered that indigenous technologies often outperform modern alternatives in specific contexts. The ice bed's ability to maintain warmth at -82 degrees Fahrenheit isn't just remarkable. It's essential data for developing sustainable cold weather solutions. This convergence of traditional knowledge and modern science offers hope for addressing global challenges. Climate change threatens Arctic communities most immediately, but its effects reach worldwide. The principles demonstrated in ice bed construction, working with natural systems, minimizing resource use, adapting to local conditions, provide models for sustainable technology everywhere. The story of the ice bed also raises questions about how we define technological advancement. Is a solution that requires no external energy, produces no pollution, and uses only renewable materials somehow primitive, or does it represent a sophistication we're only beginning to appreciate? As we grapple with environmental crisis, such questions gain urgency. Educational programs now incorporate traditional Arctic survival skills alongside modern wilderness training. Military forces operating in polar regions study igloo construction. Architects exploring sustainable design draw inspiration from indigenous building methods. The ice bed, once dismissed as a curiosity, gains recognition as innovative engineering. Yet this recognition comes with responsibilities. Indigenous knowledge cannot be simply extracted and commodified. It exists within cultural contexts that must be respected and preserved. Working with Arctic communities to document and share traditional technologies requires careful attention to intellectual property rights and cultural protocols. The 90-minute construction time of the ice bed carries deeper significance. It represents not just efficiency but a profound understanding of environmental rhythms. In the Arctic, weather can change fatally fast. The ability to create effective shelter quickly isn't just convenient. It's the difference between life and death. This urgency shaped every aspect of the design. Modern builders studying traditional igloos marvel at their structural efficiency. The spiral construction method allows solo building while maintaining stability throughout the process. Each block supports its neighbors, creating a self-reinforcing system. Computer analysis reveals stress distributions that would challenge contemporary engineers to replicate. The ice bed's thermal dynamics exploit multiple physical principles simultaneously. The platform height positions sleepers in the warmest air layer. The ice surface prevents moisture migration while maintaining insulation integrity. The curved dome shape creates convection patterns that distribute heat evenly. These interlocking systems demonstrate holistic design thinking. Material selection shows equally sophisticated understanding. Terrible fur, with its hollow hair shafts, provides unmatched insulation. Dried grass and moss trap air efficiently while remaining breathable. The snow itself, selected for specific density and crystal structure, becomes a building material with precise thermal properties. Each component serves multiple functions. The hunter's specialized tools reflect generations of refinement. The snow knife's curved blade enables both straight cuts and curved shaping. Its bone construction prevents metal's dangerous brittleness in extreme cold. The Kullik lamp burns seal oil efficiently, providing light, heat, and cooking capability with minimal fuel consumption. These tools embody elegant solutions to complex problems. Perhaps most impressively, the entire system requires no external inputs beyond what the environment provides. Snow, ice, and materials gathered during brief summers suffice for winter survival. This closed-loop approach contrasts sharply with modern systems dependent on global supply chains and fossil fuels. In an era of resource depletion, such self-sufficiency gains new relevance. The ice bed challenges assumptions about comfort and necessity. Western cultures often equate comfort with softness, warmth with high temperatures. Yet the ice bed provides genuine comfort through different means: stability, dryness, appropriate thermal regulation. It suggests that comfort is contextual, shaped by environment and culture rather than universal standards. Traditional knowledge keepers emphasize that technical skills alone don't ensure survival. Proper attitude, respect for the environment, and spiritual preparation matter equally. The hunter offers stanks before taking materials from the land. Construction proceeds with mindfulness rather than haste. This holistic approach integrates practical and spiritual dimensions seamlessly. Climate change now threatens the very conditions that enable traditional ice bed construction. Warming temperatures alter snow consistency, making traditional selection methods less reliable. Changing weather patterns disrupt seasonal rhythms that guided material gathering. Ironically, the sustainable technologies developed over millennia face extinction from unsustainable practices elsewhere. Yet adaptation continues. Contemporary Inuit builders experiment with new materials while maintaining traditional principles. Synthetic fabrics might replace caribou fur, but the layering concepts remain. Modern tools might assist construction, but the fundamental design endures. This flexibility itself reflects traditional values of innovation through observation. The ice bed story resonates beyond Arctic contexts. It demonstrates how human ingenuity can create comfort in seemingly impossible conditions. It shows how deep environmental knowledge enables sustainable solutions. It challenges narratives that equate technological progress with complexity and resource consumption. Most importantly, it reminds us that wisdom often lies in working with nature rather than against it. As our documentary concludes, the abandoned igloo stands silent in the vast white landscape. Wind has already begun softening its edges, nature reclaiming what was borrowed. But the knowledge persists, carried forward by those who maintain these traditions. The ice bed remains more than a survival technique. It's a testament to human adaptability, creativity, and the profound understanding possible when people live in true harmony with their environment. The hunter continues his journey, his figure growing smaller against the endless horizon. Behind him, the igloo will serve other travelers, provide emergency shelter, or simply return to the snow from which it came. But the wisdom it embodies travels onward, relevant now more than ever as we seek sustainable ways to inhabit our changing planet. In the end, the story of building an ice bed in 90 minutes that maintains heat at -82 degrees Fahrenheit isn't just about surviving extreme cold. It's about the genius of adaptation, the power of traditional knowledge, and the possibility of creating comfort and safety using only what nature provides. As we face global environmental challenges, these lessons from the Arctic offer both inspiration and practical guidance for building a more sustainable future. The ice bed stands as proof that sometimes the most advanced technologies are those that appear simplest, that true innovation often means understanding rather than overcoming natural systems, and that wisdom accumulated over generations can offer solutions to challenges we're only beginning to comprehend. In the frozen silence of the Arctic night, on a bed of ice that defies expectation, lies a message for our times. Survival depends not on conquering nature, but on learning to live within its patterns, respecting its power, and embracing its teachings.